Today, why healing the nervous system is the key to men's recovery and integrity. Welcome to Sacred Grit, a podcast equipping men to conquer addiction and overcome inner struggles through physical, mental, and spiritual disciplines so you can become a man of honor and integrity. I'm Jason Lyle. Now let's get to work. Today you'll learn born again happens daily, not once. Old thought patterns can't solve new problems, and your nervous system is the doorway to recovery. This episode is brought to you by Oak Haven Diagnostics. All right, man, so welcome back, my dude, to the Sacred Grit podcast. Glad you're joining me today for Sacred Sunday. So here's the thing, man. When I was 8 years old, I remember it like it was yesterday. I walked down the aisle to get saved, or be born again. And here's the thing, like I knew what I was doing when I did it. I mean, my sister had went down the aisle a couple of weeks before, but I mean, I understood kind of what I was doing, and I remember specifically the moment, however long ago that's been. I'm 54 now. I was 8 then, so 40 some odd years ago, 46 years ago, I guess. And I remember it very well. I remember the feeling of it's just what I needed to do. So I'm not making light of it, but the experience of it was a little different. So I, took the preacher by the hand and he prayed this prayer and I repeated the prayer after him. And then they handed me these tithe envelopes and they baptized me and all these different things, and they told me that I was saved. And so I did the thing. And I mean, other than, the people in the church were kind of excited for me, and my family members, they were certainly excited. I mean, I really don't know that I felt anything on the inside. I mean, it felt a bit transactional. Just let me say it that way. Like, God gave me a get out of hell free card or something. We used to say that in seminary. Like, I just now when I die, I have like this ticket that I can get into heaven. So it felt quite transactional. And I mean, it worked okay up until puberty, right? So I grew up Southern Baptist, and in Southern Baptist theology, I mean, God was kind of angry. And God hated sin, but loved people. So there was this like conundrum between, God hates sin, but he loves people. But the answer was that God would murder Jesus in our place, right, on a cross. And so we just had to believe in that death, burial, and resurrection, and we would get to go to heaven. But at the same time, we were also told that if we really loved God, right, if you're just like a really good Christian, that you would strive to live a sinless life. And that pretty much, included things like drinking, smoking, cussing, and sex before marriage. But here's the thing, man. By the time I was in my teenage years, I had done all those things and was chasing more. And so I had this deep sense of guilt inside of me, of doing the things that I was told that I shouldn't do, right? I was like, but I've been born again, like I've been saved. But for some reason I kept doing these other things, and I carried that framework on into adulthood and even into being a pastor. And here's the thing, when I ended up knee deep in affairs, I either had to lean on grace or believe that I really wasn't saved at all. And neither one of those answers were correct. So what I'm saying is, like, I either had to go, well, God's forgiven me for all this and I'm a Christian, I'll get to go to heaven. Or I had to go, golly, am I just not saved? So when the shit hit the fan with my affairs coming out, so did my beliefs. And so, I mean, maybe you understand this, right? Like you've got behaviors like, why will God not just take this? If I love God, I wouldn't do this. You prayed, you begged, you promised, but it just won't go away. But here's the good news, my dude. It can go away. But the hard news is it takes work. It takes grit. Now, there's this story in John chapter 3. This dude comes to Jesus in the middle of the night, and his name is Nicodemus. And Nicodemus kind of sneaks in and he kind of placates Jesus a little bit. He's like, we know you're this great teacher. And Jesus just speaks like straight to him. He goes, you cannot see the kingdom of God unless you're born again. And Nicodemus is like, what? Like, am I supposed to crawl back in my mother's womb? And Jesus goes, no, here's the deal. Flesh gives birth to flesh. Your mama gave birth to your flesh, but spirit gives birth to the spirit. And then Jesus says the wind blows where it wants. You can hear it, but you don't know where it comes from or where it's going. So it is with everyone born of the Spirit. Now, here's the deal, man. Jesus wasn't talking about a one-time prayer or a ticket to heaven later, because Jesus said in 17:21, the kingdom of God is within you. It's right here. It's now. And to see it, you've got to be reborn in spirit. And that means not stuck in the old flesh patterns, right? Romans chapter 12, don't be conformed any longer to the patterns of this world, right? He's saying spirit is like a wind. It's not something you can nail down. It's free. It's moving. It's alive. And that's what being born again really means, my dude. Now, here's the thing. Einstein once said, you can't solve a problem with the same thinking that created it. And listen, man, if you got yourself into a mess, the only way you're going to get out of that mess is you have to have a new way of seeing. Jesus said to see the kingdom, you got to become like a little child, right? He said the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these when he held a child. And child doesn't come into the world with old categories. They see with fresh eyes every single time. And that's what these practices do. They retrain your nervous system to breathe, pause, make a choice, and choose life. They help you to see the world very differently. Yoga teaches you to sit with discomfort. Breathwork teaches you space between thought and action. Meditation teaches you to catch old patterns instead of obeying them. And the cold plunges, well, they just teach you pure ass grit, how to face fear and stay put. Call it nervous system work, call it being born again. Either way, it works. Now, I mean, I've been told, yoga is going to send you to hell. It's demonic or whatever. But here's what I can tell you. Yoga, breathwork, meditation, and cold water has cast way more demons out of my ass than any sermon or preacher ever did, man. It has changed my life just adopting these practices. Now, here's what I always think about, right? And I love doing this because what if men everywhere just did this? What if there was like this radical commitment to go, you know what, man? I am going to be the best version of myself by working on myself every single day. And, I'm going to give you some tools on Gritty Wednesday, but here's the thing. Even if it's that, or if it's something different, if you just went to work on yourself every single day to be able to go, how do I see the world? This self-inquiry, how do I see the world? Why do I see it that way? And why do my old thought patterns keep me in this same place? Man, the world would be full of men with sacred grit, my dude. It would be such a beautiful place, and you would be a part of it. Doesn't that feel amazing, man? So today you learned born again happens daily, not just once. Old thought patterns can't solve new problems, and your nervous system is the doorway to recovery. My dude, thanks for listening, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you allowing me to speak into your life. I hope you get things out of these. Down in the show notes, you'll see a link where you could book a consultation call with me. I'd love to see if we're a fit. The website's down there, email's down there. I would just love to have you, man. Love to talk with you. Now, this episode is also brought to you by Adventures in Recovery. Now, you can go to recoveryadventures.org. And what you could do when you go there is you can click on upcoming expeditions, go down there and join a trip. And dude, you will be joining a fraternity of men who go on hiking trips together, do life together, support one another, do these practices together. We are all about self-inquiry. And I really would love to have you as a part of that process. It is a great group of people with a great purpose. All right, my dude, I will see you on Gritty Wednesday. Take care, my man.